Hello all, I am Dr. Ashish Agrawat. In this video, we will see verification of precision in our lab. It is required as per ISO 15189 2012. The clause is 5.5. Okay, where verification of method in terms of precision, accuracy, linearity, reference range, limit of detection, or limit of quantification. At least this should be done in verification. In verification, already the method is validated by manufacturer, and we have to just verify these things. Okay, the claim of precision, claim of accuracy, linearity, reference range, and LOD. Right. In case of validation, it is required for the preparation for the in-house reagents. Okay, suppose we have made the reagents in-house. In that case, validation required. Or for the non-standard method, okay, we require the validation. In that, in addition to accuracy, precision, linearity, reference range, LOD, we have to check for the stability and also interference. Okay, EP15 A3 verification of precision, 3 replicates of one sample, okay, for 5 days is required, and we do the SD and CV of all the results that we got
and check
whether our SD and CV is less than manufacturer claim or not. Okay, to check for the precision, we can also do a F test when manufacturer has given us number of measurements, that is N and SD, okay, of that measurement. If this SD and number of measurement is given, we can perform a very simple test that is called as a F test. Also, we can run the samples on 20 days and we check for the CV, and if it is less than 1/3 of the total allowable error, then precision claim is okay. Okay, so we will see. Already I have covered how to check what should be ideal CV in our lab in my previous video. You can check it. The link will be given in the description as well as in the suggestion box. So in F test, that is a very simple test to check the precision. Okay, very simple test to check for the precision. F test is equal to larger variance divided by the smaller variance. Now, what is this variance? This variation is variation from the mean. All our variance measures the variability from average or mean. This variance measures how far a data set is spread out. Okay, so it is nothing but it is a SD square. Okay, standard deviation square. Okay, so the F test will compare the SD of the two methods. Okay, suppose manufacturers claim for SD is 4, okay, for 21 measurements. Okay, while when we perform the measurements, we got the SD that is 5 at 31 measurements. Clear? Okay, so how to check for the whether our method is precise or not? So a simple test is F test. Here we have to take larger variance. Variance is SD square. So we take SD, suppose we take larger variance as SD1. So F test is equal to SD1 square divided by the SD2 square. Now, which is a higher? Okay, that is 25. Okay, 5 into 5 square, that is 25, divided by the manufacturer SD square, that is 60. If you do 25 by 16, then you get 1.56. Now you have to check for the critical F value. You have to check for the table. We will see the row will be your denominator and column will be numerator. Here the numerator is SD is 5, numerator at 31 measurement. So you have to degree of freedom is 31 minus 1, that will be 30. So in column you have to check at the 30, and in the row, that is denominator, here it is n minus 1 will be 20. So in column you have to check 20. So we will see this F table. So you can see the numerator is 30, that will be your column. Okay, you can remember like this, Cn and Rd. Okay, so in column you have to check for the numerator, so that is a 30, so you have to take this, and in row that is denominator, so denominator here it is 20, so you have to see, you will get this value. So critical F value is 2.04, right? So the critical F value is 2.04 and our value is 1.56, which is less than the critical F value. So there is no difference. There is no difference between the two methods. So there is no imprecision and there is no random error. Okay. You have to remember this F value. It is not for the acceptance. It is only to see whether there is a difference between these two methods or not, and it will only show whether there is random error existing or not. Calculation we got 1.56 and the critical F value for this experiment is 2.04. So our calculated F value is less than the critical F value, so there is no difference in the method and there is no random error is existing. Okay, that we can see from this experiment. And for this experiment, at least we should know the SD and number of measurements of the manufacturer. Manufacturer has to give SD and also the number of measurement. Okay, then it is a very simple method to check whether there is random error is there or not. So now, if number of measurements is not given, okay, manufacturer has only given SD or CV, then what we can do? For that, we have a EP15 A3 protocol for the precision check. Okay, so I will share the Excel sheet now, and I will share it in the description also, so you can replicate this experiment. Okay, so I will share it into the Google Drive and I will share the link so that you can also replicate the same method. Okay, so now we will do hands-on experiment. So you can see here on day 1 you have to run the sample. Okay, so and that run that same sample 3 times. Okay, so number of replicates n is 3 and we have to run it for the 5 days. Okay, for the first day we got the result 143, 143, 142. Okay, on day 2 we got the result 141, 141, 141. Day 3 we got result 146, 147, 147. Day 4 146, 146, 145, and day 5 145, 146, 145. Now how to calculate precision from this data? Okay, I will share the Excel sheet in the description. You just have to experiment this. Okay, on first day you have to run the sample for the 3 times. Okay, and repeat this for the 5 days. Right now we will get the run mean, that is the average of these 3 results. Okay, so average B5 to D5, that will get the run mean within run mean, and SD is equal to SD dev B5 to D5. Okay, from that you get the run within run SD, and variance is SD square. So I have just multiply F5 into F5. So this is the F5. So variance is SD square. Okay, so you get the within run SD and within run variance. Okay, you have to replicate this for the 5 times. So what you can do, just click on this and run it. Okay, draw till the day 5. Okay, so you will get the all the 5 results. Same you can do for the within run SD and within run variance. Now we have got the mean. So what you can do, select an average of E5 to E9 here, that we get the overall mean. Okay, while within run variance will be average of G5 to G9. Okay, that we got the within run variance, that we got 0.40. So from this we get the within run SD. So if we do square root of this within run variance, we get the within run SD. Okay, so we have got within run SD 0.632. For between run SD, you can do SD E5 to E9. That is this run mean average that results SD dev. We get the between run SD. Between run variance will be square of this, so that will be 5.367. You can see here B14 into B14. Now ratio of within run to between run is 0.075. It will not be helpful here. Okay, and total variance is n minus 1 divided by n into within run variance plus between run variance. Because from within run we have replicated for the 3 times, so 3 minus 1. Okay, you can see here, that is B2, that is 3 minus 1 divided by 3 number of replicates into within run variance, okay, plus between run variance. That is our total variance, right? So laboratory SD will be square root of this total variance, that is we got here 2.373, and lab CV that we got from this laboratory SD divided by the overall mean, okay, into 100. So we got our total variance and then we get laboratory SD and laboratory CV. Okay, and if suppose manufacturers claim SD is 3, then our method is precise. Okay, or if our manufacturer's mean is 2 and we got CV is 1.6, which is less than manufacturer's claim, then our manufacturer claim is okay, and we can say we have verified the method. Okay, suppose manufacturer's claim is 2, manufacturer claim of SD is 2, and we got the results 2.3. So whether we can accept it or not. Okay, so for that we have a additional formula. Okay, so we have to check the verification value.
So this verification value is equal to manufacturer's claim into square root of C that we will get from the chi-square table divided by square root of T, where T is the effective degree of freedom. It is little bit complex. So how to calculate T we will see now.
We have got number of replicates, n is 3, number of days is 5, within run variance, okay, within runs variance, that is average of G5 to G9, that is 0.40 here, between run variance, that is square of between run SD, right, and between run SD is SD of E5 to E9, that is run mean results. Now ratio VR to VB, okay, that here it is 0.07. Okay, we have to take positive of the within run variance. Now n minus within run, that is 3 minus 1 into within run variance, that we got as 0.80. You can see formula here also, and n into between run variance, that is 16.10 here. Okay, now here within run variance is 0.40 and between run variance is 5.37. Between run variance is higher. Okay, so in which condition it will be seen? So within run variance is low than the between run variance. That means it may be the automated machine where within run variance is very low. Okay, suppose we have run the result. So we got the result like 140, 141, 140. So you can see these are results very precise. So it will be seen in case of automated machine. Okay. But why between run variance is high? Maybe because of the environmental factor, temperature, etc. or operator. Okay. They may affect the, it may be the cause of the between run variance. Okay. Which is higher. Okay. Or suppose in that, so when within run variance less than between run variance, so T value will be less. Okay, the effective degree of freedom. Suppose within run variance is higher than the between run variance. Okay, in that case T value will be very high. And in which scenario we will get the high within run, like point of care testing, okay, where you get for every test we have a different cartridge. So in that case, within run variance will be higher. Okay. Here, the within run variance is lower than the between run variance. Okay, so t value will be less. So we will see. So if so, for t value, the numerator is n minus 1 into within run variance. Okay, plus n into between run variance, and square of this will be our numerator. Okay. Now for the denominator, we have a n minus 1 upon days. So suppose we have replicate 3 times, and for the run for the 5 days, 3 minus 1 divided by 5, that is a 0.40. Okay. Now this n minus 1 upon d into within run square, that will be, okay, so that we have to calculate the square of the number of replicates, that is we have 3, so 3 into 3 square is 9, into between run, okay, between run variance square, so b25 into b25 upon d minus 1. Okay, so that we got is 64.80, and sum of about 2, that will be our denominator, will be n minus 1 upon day into within run square plus n square into between between run variance square divided by the d minus 1. Here days is 5, so 5 minus 1, that will be 4. Okay, so this we got the denominator. Numerator already we have learned. Okay, so from that we get the t value. Okay, so t calculation is numerator divided by the denominator, that we got t value is 4.4, right? And if we do the square root of t, we get the 2.1. Okay, this is, you can see, little complex, but you don't need to worry. I have shared the Excel sheet. You have to fill your data, your day 1 result, day 2 results, day 1 result replicate in 3, day 2 result same material replicate in 3 times, day 3, day 4, and day 5. Okay, just fill this data automatically within this run mean, run SD, variance, everything you will get. Okay, now coming to the what is this chi-square value. Okay, so for 2 level, and here we have degree of freedom is 4 because we have run it for the 5 times. Okay, so a degree of freedom, that is 4, and probability at 0.05, the result is 11.40. Okay, we will see the table of chi-square now. Okay, so if we see the chi-square table here, d minus 1, the degree of freedom, okay, that will be 4, and for 2 level, it is, we assume that 2 level controls are run, so the critical chi-square value, chi-square table c value here we got as 11.40, and we have to do the square root of c. Okay, so square root of c is 3.34. Now verification value, the formula is manufacturer claim into square root of chi-square value divided by root 2. Okay, so manufacturer's claim into square root of c divided by square root of t. Here manufacturer's claim is 2.0 SE, while chi-square value is 11.14 divided by square root of t value is 4.40. Okay, that is equal to 2 into 3.34 divided by 2.1, that will be equal to 3.18. Okay, so the manufacturer claim is 2 but verification value is 3.18. Now the value that we have got for SD here is 2.37. Okay, so this 2.37 is less than the verification value, that is 3.18. So the manufacturer claim is valid. Okay, so this is the EP15 A3 protocol for the precision. Okay, for verification of precision, okay, if SD is given by the manufacturer and number of measurement is given, what we can do F value, where the larger variance divided by the smaller variance, that will be F. Okay, and if this F value is less than critical F value, then there is no random error is existing. Okay, and we can say the method is validated. But if the number of measurement or SD is not given by the manufacturer, then we can perform the EP15 A3 protocol for the precision if the total SD or CV, okay, is less than manufacturer's SD. Okay, then our SD is our precision, our method is validated in terms of precision. But if our SD is more than manufacturer's SD, then we have to do the verification value, that is manufacturer's claim into square root of C divided by square root of T. Okay, and if this verification value is less than our laboratory SD, then the claim is valid. Alternatively, you can run the control both the level, and if CV is less than 1/3 of CLIA total allowable error, then also our precision is valid. Okay, this is all about today's video regarding the verification for precision. I hope you like this video. If you like this video, please hit the like button, share my video, subscribe to my channel, and press the bell icon so that you can get notification for my future video also. Thank you for watching. Bye.